Alright, hello everybody. A-Wing Bricks here. Yes, finally, for the first time in a long time, I am back. And today, we are reviewing the Ultimate Collector Series Millennium Falcon. This set released back in 2017 for $800. It contains 7,542 pieces. And was a 16 plus set. This is before they introduced the 18 plus branding they use today on LEGO Star Wars stuff. And this thing is enormous. It is actually massive. Like, it's hanging off of my desk. I don't have any other place to put this thing. That's how huge this is. Like, hear me out here. I reviewed the UCS A-Wing on the dining room table. This thing would literally need to... this thing, to put that into perspective, would take up literally almost triple the amount of space that took up when I did the review. That's how massive this is. And I gotta say, it is definitely worth the price tag. But we're gonna get into all of that later. And yeah, we're gonna take a look at all the different features and just take a general look at the model and just come down to, I guess, a consensus of just like how good it is, you know? But yeah, I already told you my opinion. So yeah, moving on to the first thing we're gonna be taking a look at. Here is the box for the set. Now, I'm actually propping this up with my foot so you guys have a good angle of the box. So, say hi, foot. But, yeah. This box is huge. And it's heavy. I can't understate just how big this thing is. Like, look. Here's my hand grabbing onto the corner of the box. And then here's the rest of the box. It's massive. Like, I can't even show you a full shot. It's that big. Also, Imperial Light Cruiser in the background. Hello, Imperial Light Cruiser. You're probably going to be built, like, in a week or two from now. But that's not the point. The point is this. This box is huge. And it is incredibly well designed. Like, I gotta say, even though the box quality isn't up to par of things like the architecture of some of the other sets, you know, some of those types of sets, there's no way they could have made it, like, any better without bumping up a little bit for even just premium box quality, I'm gonna say. But, yeah, so you can see all the classic stuff, you know, LEGO Star Wars, Ultimate Collector Series, and then this beautiful image of the Falcon. And you can see some of the minifigures in the cockpit there. You can see TIE fighters and I think Cloud City in the background. You can see, like, this thing is just beautiful, man. It is absolutely gorgeous. See the Disney logo in the corner, Millennium Falcon, trademark, of course. 75192 16 plus. Now, going around to the top of the box, you can see the UCS Millennium Falcon's outline with LEGO Star Wars Ultimate Collector Series over it. And yeah, this just looks really amazing. I really like how this looks. Just in general, it's a nice aesthetic. I don't even think my phone camera can do it justice, just how nice this box is. Oh my god, it's so good. So here we have the side of the box. This is the right side, and yeah, so you see, got the render of the Falcon right there, with the Death Star 2 in the background, Star Destroyers there, you know, all that's fine and dandy. And then you got Ultimate Collector Series, many languages, LEGO Star Wars up there. The outline of the Falcon is, yeah, it still looks really good. It's like one of the underside shots. And you can take a look and read that for yourself. Yeah, I'm not gonna read it right now. But yeah, this thing, this is big. And there's a lot to it. taking a look at the back side of the box, oh boy, you can see a whole render of this thing with the the Force Awakens characters. And yeah, you can see a bunch of different renders of like the features turned into original Force Awakens version. You can see that the Mynock and the field and like all these different features are just lined up in this like 8-tile display. It looks really nice and I really love it. And yeah, you can see like the cockpit, you can see the rooms. We'll get to the interior soon. But yeah, you can see Finn and BB-8 and Rey and Han Solo, the older version in there. Like all of this, it's just really cool. And obviously Disney 75192, blah blah blah. You get all that. So, yeah, the box is really nice, and I gotta show you the unboxing experience of this thing, because it is very interesting. Now, as I've already shown you, like, the other side, but I haven't shown you this side, I'm just gonna show you right now, before we take a look at what's inside. You see all the characters lined up, it's really cool. Porg, Princess Leia, Han Solo, C-3PO, Rey, Finn, Chewbacca, older Han Solo, and BB-8. BB-8's obviously in a 1-to-1 scale, of course. You can see the outline of the Falcon with the measurements on the side. This thing is huge. And then obviously up there, Star Wars Collector Series. Take a look inside, and you have another outline of the Falcon with Star Wars Ultimate Collector Series. You go inside and you can see this cool Millennium Falcon symbol, and from the side of the box that I opened it up on, which is this side, you would actually have, grab it real quick, the instruction manual here. Now it's in this nice little box with the outline of the UCS Falcon all over it, and yeah, the instruction manual usually be on top if you opened it from this side. Don't be stupid like I did and open it sideways so that this manual falls out, because this thing is big, heavy. It is a hefty book. I don't know if you saw in the corner, it's probably as heavy as some of my textbooks. But yeah. And so this is what you see in the box. You see all these little boxes that make up, I don't know if I have them upside down or not, but you get all these boxes and they make up the outline of the UCS Falcon. And so yeah, you would take these out, and yeah, they all have different quotes on them. She may not look like much, but she's got it where it counts, kid. Let me put that into the shot. Yep, there you go. And you got the other box. I've made a lot of special modifications myself. And you have this one. It's the ship that made the Kessel Run in less than 12 parsecs. And then this box. She's the fastest hunk of junk in the galaxy. So, you know, that's not good. So yeah, that's as I was saying, that's how the unboxing experience usually goes. As long as you're not an idiot like me and let the manual fall out, yeah, this is usually how it would go. You pull either the manual or the boxes out first, and then just pull everything out, and yeah. You open the boxes, they have like tape on them, and if you want to reseal them and put them back in like I have, you can see here, there's pull tabs, but I personally don't like to do it on this side because this side's just too good. It looks too nice. But, yeah, so we're moving on now to the actual set itself, starting with the minifigure. So here we have the minifigure selection, and I have to say, at least for me personally, it's a good one. Because, yeah, as I mentioned, we have the Finn, old Han Solo, Rey, Chewbacca, C-3PO, younger Han Solo, and Leia, the Mynock, the 2 Porgs, and of course, BB-8. So, yeah, it is a pretty decent selection of minifigures, I gotta say. Now, there are exclusives. Obviously, none of the Episode 7 figures are exclusive. They all came in other sets, blah blah blah. And of course, Chewbacca and C-3PO, I don't believe are exclusive. I don't think they have exclusive prints or anything on them. But the Han Solo and Leia figures are exclusive. Because, and give me a sec to replicate this. Boom! They have their gas masks. And yeah, these are exclusive prints. These were never released in any other set. Yeah, these faces, yeah, were never released in any other sets. So, yeah, this is a pretty unique set of minifigures. I mean, you know, it is still Leia and Han. They're pretty much incredibly common characters by default, but, you know, like, this is good to have. It's good to have unique minifigures for this. Now we move on over to the Mynock. Yep. This thing is exclusive. We have never had an actual brick-built Lego Mynock, or really any Lego Mynock ever. And yeah, he's a serviceable build. He works pretty well. And yeah, Lego Mynock. Then you have the Porgs. I mean, they're pretty common, so, you know, you're not at a shortage of Porgs, but you're definitely not at an abundance of these guys. They're pretty cute. And there's BB-8. Nothing to say about him. He's just a pretty common figure. So all around, it's a decent figure selection. I mean, definitely not what I completely expect out of a UCS set, but at least having the exclusive minifigures is a plus to me, I have to say. It's something that some UCS sets nowadays gunship have problems with. But, you know, it's good to have the exclusive figures, and it's a lot of figures, especially for this. And for $800, I'd say, yeah, I mean, there could be more. You could have included that Episode 8 Luke, but, you know, he's coming. You know, you can obtain him pretty simply. So, yeah, those are the figures. And we're moving on. Because, yes, it indeed is time to take a look at the actual Falcon itself. Now, before we get to anything, I want to take a look at this UCS plaque, because, I mean, it's pretty simple. Like, it's a pretty simple build. You know, you got your hinges, you got your Chi-slopes, or, you know, their slope pieces. And you got this huge-ass plate and all. It's got, like, all the necessary information you need to know about it, you know? Corellian Light Freighter, YT-1300 series. Modified by Han Solo. It's got all of your basic stuff. You can read it if you want. And, yeah, it's the Millennium Falcon. So, now, we're gonna put that aside and take a look at the set itself. Starting with the front area. Now this is just what I like to call immaculate greebling. Just take a look at all the just different intricate builds that are used here to, you know, display the details of the Falcon. On the top you have these flex tube pieces that are used to replicate like some tubes on the front of the Falcon. You got this section here, you know, which is actually explain why it's empty in another movie. But yeah, and you got these like sort of hole areas that the Falcon is definitely known to have. even more detailed greebling. It's just a lot of good greebling on this set. This set is jam-packed with detail, even up underneath it. I don't know if you can see anything. But there is definitely some detailing down here. You know, just some great stuff. Now, we're gonna move slightly upwards. You can see, got the radar dish. Hey. So moving along, got this midsection I've mentioned before. You got your cannons up there. You got some more detailing, greebling and stuff. Then we're gonna move over to the cockpit, the first area where you can actually do something interesting with the set. So we remove that, and it's just a lot of seating space. So you can basically fit all of the characters from their respective movies onto this one area. So either Han, Leia, C-3PO, Chewbacca, or all the Episode 7 characters. Like, you can fit all of them in this area. It's pretty great. So, yeah, then you just pull this off, and you just plop it right back on. A little bit of pressure. Well, they have trouble with this, but, you know, apply a little bit of pressure, you get it right back on. So, moving on to this area, we see the first of our interior sections. So, what we can do, well, first I'm going to show you this little feature. Because this is supposed to be both the Episode 7 and, you know, original trilogy Falcon. Because I'm only saying Episode 7 because that was the movie this was based on at the time. But you just plop this on. It's kind of hard to do with one hand. But, you know, you kind of get the point. You just plop it on. Plop it onto this round piece. You know, there you go. I did it wrong, whatever. Plop it on there, and there you go. You just have the other radar. You have the other radar dish. And yeah. But, moving along with that, you can also just flat out remove it for another feature that the Falcon has. And so we just pull on this panel. You can already see a little bit inside. You pull on this panel, boom. Interior space. Yep. Now in there you can obviously see, like, you can see the hall chessboard, you can see some seats, you can see the hallway, you can see the other rooms, you can see the chair, you can see all the other stuff, you can see, yeah, just a bunch of detailing. So that's really cool. And moving on along, got even more detailing on the sides, you got it on the top, you got your cannon up here, which can actually move around. And this leads us to our next feature. You can remove this, and boom, you can sit a minifigure in there. That's pretty nice. You can see a little bit inside here too with that off. Yeah, you can see the minifigure, and yeah, you can have them shoot out of the turret. It's pretty cool, and yeah. So, if only I can get it on. It's hard, as I said, it's hard to do this with only one hand. But, yeah. So moving on, you got even more detail. Now, let me just show you some of this, you know, greebling down here. So, I will spin it around a bit so we have easy access to the back side. Alright, so as you can see on top, there's a lot of cool greebling. Got these huge, like, vent things that it's known for. And yeah, they're really good. You move along, you got the engines. Now, with my lighting, it's kind of hard to, like, properly see them. But yeah, you can see in there, you got those tubes that are clear, and they represent the engines. So, yeah. Move this along, so you can have a slightly better view of, yeah, the engine detailing. It's really nice. And so, this is also another area with, well, you guessed it, even more interior space. So you pull off these two panels, and then, boom, access to even more interior. You have one hallway there and one hallway there, both for stickers. You got this little floor piece, which can open up. Don't really know much of a purpose, but you know, it's there, it works. It's all good. You got some like panels and stuff there that, like, you know, electronic stuff. You got the hallway back here, and of course, you got your hyperdrive. It wouldn't be a Falcon without it. That is indeed a sticker on top. And the lighting really sucks over here, but you know, that's all I got. But yeah. So, and then over here, there's also these little things which can, you know, move up. And you have two of them. You know, they both do the same thing. Move up and then reveal whatever. Oh, oops. That was my fault. I accidentally took it off. Alright, we're just gonna move on from there. But, yeah. And move along. There's even more greebling and some cool detailing around there, you know. More of the engine down here. More of the greebling. Even more of the greebling, this round thing. And yeah, after we move on from a little bit more greebling, we circle right back around to the front. Oh man, this thing is huge. So, overall, what do I think about the Ultimate Collector Series Millennium Falcon? Well, I think quite a lot of things. First off, this set is amazing. I think it is one of the best LEGO Star Wars sets that has ever been made. I mean, it's the largest that has ever been made, so, you know, it's big. That's all I can say. It's definitely worth the $800. Now, in terms of the minifigures, it's an okay selection. Yeah, I don't really care about the minifigures in this set, just because the actual set itself is so good that everything after that is pretty much just a bonus. Like, that plaque is a bonus, the ability to switch it's a bonus, the minifigures are a bonus. Like, there's a lot of things about this set, you know, that are just cool bonuses. And yeah, like, this thing is gorgeous. It is an absolute monster of a display piece. This thing will draw attention. And yeah, it commands it very well, because this thing is just so good. It's so good. Now, this is an intense build, and because I got this on Christmas, and it took me 2 whole days to finish, and roughly half a day's each worth of work, which left me with roughly 24 hours of building. Yeah, 24 hours spent building this thing. It's intense. It's complicated. There's a lot of parts to it. Like, even the landing gears. I didn't know if I brought these up earlier or not. But even these things, they took a while. And there's a lot of them. You can see them under there. Every little part of this goes into making this one of the coolest, at least in my eyes, one of the coolest sets they've ever made. And that's partially due to the fact that it is basically the biggest that they've ever made in terms of LEGO Star Wars sets. Now, obviously, you know, in terms of most pieces, it's been surpassed by sets like, you know, Colosseum and all. And yeah, it's from 2017, so it's a little bit old now, but god damn it, it's so good. Like, it's such a good set, man. So, yeah, It's very good. I 100% recommend it if you have two things. The money, so $800 to spend on this, and the space. Yeah. Let me tell you a little story behind this thing. Because, as I mentioned, I got this for Christmas from my dad, and I really have to thank him for that. I would not have gotten this if it wasn't for him. But the way he obtained this wasn't actually directly from Lego.com, because as of, making this video, the set's out of stock everywhere. You cannot find this thing in stock. However, he found it from a reseller. And this reseller, well, they were reselling it because they weren't ready for this thing. This thing is a massive commitment. Not only in terms of time and maintenance, but also just because of how much space it takes up. This thing is huge. Actually huge. Look at it compared to my hand. I grab this thing and shake a tiny portion of it. Look at how massive it is compared to just my hand. Like, I try to pick it up. It doesn't work. It's just too huge. It's too big. But, yeah, this thing is a commitment. And if you're not ready for it, you will struggle with owning this thing. Like, there are Lego sets that are big, but you won't struggle owning them. You might just struggle keeping them intact or something. This is something you're going to struggle owning, because it's just so huge. You just might not have the space for it. Like, that's just the ground floor. You might not be able to store this thing in your collection. And there are other options now. This isn't the only $800 Lego set that's available for Star Wars right now. Recently, UCS AT-AT. That came out. It has significantly less pieces and is, smaller in many ways, but it's really good. And if you don't have the space, at least in terms of, general space, the UCS AT-AT might be better for you, because this thing takes up way more space. It's way closer to the ground. It's way wider. It's got, a lot of stuff that you need to worry about. This thing is massive. UCS AT-AT is massive too, but the thing about that is that the set is actually, the UCS AT-AT doesn't take up as much space. You can store stuff underneath it if you need to. You can, put it somewhere with minimal shelf space. And sure, there might be a risk that it's heavy, but there certainly isn't a risk that it doesn't fit. This thing just flat out won't fit anywhere. You have to have a wide space to keep this thing. It's just massive. You can see, it takes up half of my desk. I had to push my Bionicle sets over there for this. And my little Lego Star Wars light. Or not Lego, it's just Star Wars. But yeah, I even had to push my stuff over because it's just that huge. It won't fit with anything on the desk. At least over here, at least. Because, I do have space, but it's not a lot. And it shows. This thing is a commitment. If you're not ready for it, I don't recommend it. And it's also a massive time commitment. You need to take time building this thing. I had the time because it's winter break and I got this for Christmas. If you just walk, say you have school and you just go buy this on the weekend or something, you're not going to finish it for quite a few days, if not weeks. This thing is massive and is a huge, huge time, this thing takes a long time to build. And not a lot of people have that time. Do I think it is worth it, though? Absolutely. For $800, you get all of this. All of this. This huge model. Like, look, I am extending my arm fully, and it can't even reach to the other side of this model. Like, this thing is massive. You can't even lift it with one hand. I'm trying to lift it with one hand. You can't lift this thing with one hand and expect it to be stable. This thing is heavy. Like, it's actually enormous. And, yeah, that's just the trade-off. It's an amazing build. It's got so many intricate little details. So many aspects to it that you gotta pay attention to. So many things about it that are just so cool. Let me fix this, I don't like it being turned up. But you gotta be prepared to build, to store, and even just to take care of it. This thing is a commitment. And you gotta be ready. It doesn't matter if you have $800 lying around, because if you do, great. But if you don't have $800 worth of space, well, I don't know what to tell you. So, yeah. $800 and the space and commitment and time necessary. Go for it. It's amazing. I would give this set, like, even despite, like, minifigures or any other argument you can make, I give it a 10 out of 10. Just absolute 100% 10 out of 10. This thing is monumental. Also, in commemoration of this being my actual sort of comeback to YouTube, hey, why don't we look through that instruction manual for a second? You probably thought I wasn't going to take a look at this considering I went so far into the review without doing it, but this is just too special not to take a look at. Because in the first few pages, you got stuff like this. About the LEGO Star Wars design team. You can take a freeze frame of this and read all of it. I'm not going to read all of it. But yeah, this is like... I really like it. I really like the presentation here. It's just... It's so good. It is so good. We got the About the Millennium Falcon. I'll make it easy enough for you to read. Same for this one. There you go, if you want to read it. You got some, like, cool sketches of the thing. Like, it is very cool. And, yeah, it's, like, just a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff. Just a lot of cool fan things. This is made for true fans. I'll give you that. Like, the facts and specifications. There you go. I don't know if you can read all that. I do recommend just getting a scan of this online and reading it like that. But, yeah, if you want to read it here, go ahead. You got the sketches. You got, like, you know, like the construction, all that, you know. Behind the scenes, Millennium Falcon. Like, this is really cool stuff for, like, just fans of, you know, Star Wars. Just in general, not even just LEGO Star Wars fans. And, yeah, you know, you got that. You got, like, you got this cool, like, you know, drawing and all, like, yeah, and it's, this is, like, all of this is what I want to see in UCS sets. Just throwing a bone to fans and just, you know, going in on, like, everything about this. Like, this is just so great. And yeah, there's a lot. I'm just gonna quickly gloss over everything, so, you know, you can read it if you want, freeze frame it if you want. You got this really cool page, in my opinion, That's like, you know, the history of all the Millennium Falcon sets, barring a few, you know, polybags and stuff. You got the original from 2000, you got your 2003 mini, you got your 2004 set, which a lot of people have nostalgia for. You got your 2007 Ultimate Collector Series set. That one I hope to own one day as well. You got your MIDI scale. You got your 2011 one. You got your 2014 Microfighter. And you got, well, you got your episode. You got this one. The 2015 one. And, of course, they're missing a few because they don't have any of the modern ones. Like, it only goes up to the episode 7 one because they don't have the Solo one. Solo wasn't out by the time the set was made. And they also didn't have the new one, which is currently on shelves. And, yeah. It's, but that is pretty cool. I like seeing all this history up until this point. It's very surreal. And you got your sketch and stuff. There's even more, you know, meet the model designer. Like, all of this is just really cool fan stuff. I adore this. I absolutely adore this. Like, just constructing it and everything. You know, more like, drawings, sketches, and stuff, you know? Like, all this stuff is just really cool. I really love it. This is just, like, so cool. I know, I'm just, at this point, I'm just gushing over it, but it really is amazing. You have to experience it for yourself if you can. Like, you know, all this stuff, more like the graphic designer, this dude, you got your minifigures and stuff, and all your stickers, and all that. You got your text, and then, after a couple of more cool sketches, you go to the actual instructions. And I'm not going to show the full instruction manual, because that would take forever. But, no, from here, you got your various bags and the steps that they complete. You see, it gradually gets better. And you get to this beauty. So, yeah. I love this instruction manual. Like, the other LEGO instruction manuals, like, they might be more high quality, but this thing is just special in another way. Because this feels like something made for super fans of Star Wars. And I really appreciate that. Like, I just really appreciate it. This manual alone made me hyped to build the set. And it kept me going. It definitely kept me going. Because this set is a difficult build, but it's worth it. So, yeah. And that's about all I had to say about the UCS Millennium Falcon. Yeah, this thing is gorgeous. I love it. I love everything there is about the set. You know, minifigures are still cool, even if there aren't many of them, or, you know, too many unique ones. The set is huge and takes up a lot of space, but looks amazing. You know, the unboxing and instruction manual experience really is special, and the fact that they even got interior in this is just, oh my god, it's so good. But, yeah, that's all there really is to say about it, and I definitely recommend you get the set if you can, because I believe the set may be retiring next year, which so if you can get the set, and you really want this thing in your collection, I recommend trying to save up into next year and getting it next year, because this thing is gorgeous and it is going to be sad to see this go from shelves. I'm going to admit, I'm going to be sad when this thing leaves shelves. I mean, it's already left shelves in terms of it being out of stock all the time, but this thing really is a beauty. Like, this thing is amazing. This really is a Star Wars set for Star Wars fans. And I love it. And yeah, that's all I had to say. This has been A-Wing Bricks, making his triumphant return. Now, signing off. Adios, amigos. You're all awesome.